Imagine this, it's 8 p.m. in New York City. You're sitting in your apartment, watching Netflix, when suddenly the lights go out. At first, you think it's just a minor blackout. But then, you check your phone. The news is breaking everywhere. Canada has just pulled the plug. Thousands of homes are already dark. Within hours, millions more are hit. Entire states, New York, Vermont, Michigan, are struggling to keep the power on. Hospitals are forced to ration electricity. Supermarkets scramble to save food from rotting. Factories shut down. And as if that weren't enough, gas prices hit $10 per gallon. Manufacturing slows to a crawl. The stock market crashes. All because of a trade war between the US and Canada. This isn't science fiction. This is a real scenario unfolding before our eyes. So how did we get here? Who is really to blame? And most importantly, how bad could this get? Let's dive in. For over a century, Canada and the US have been each other's largest trading partners. 75% of Canada's exports go to the US. The US imports more electricity from Canada than any other country. Canada is America's #1 source of oil, steel, aluminum, and even maple syrup. In short, they need each other. But in March 2025, Donald Trump changed everything. Trump announced a 25% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum, claiming that America needed to protect its industries from unfair competition. For Canada, this was an insult. PierrePoilievre, yes, he defeated Justin Trudeau in 2024, fired back immediately. At a press conference in Ottawa, he declared, "We will not be bullied. If Trump wants a trade war, he'll get one. We are considering every option, including energy." And that's when the real panic began. March 5, 2025, Ottawa, Canada. Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, stood before a packed room of reporters. His words sent shockwaves through North America. If the US keeps these unfair tariffs, we have the ability to turn off the lights. Let me be clear, we are prepared to reduce or even stop electricity exports to the US. This was unprecedented. Canada had never openly threatened to use energy as a weapon. The US government was caught off guard. The markets immediately reacted. The Dow Jones dropped 700 points in a single day. Oil prices surged by 12%. Energy companies warned of potential shortages. And then, the White House responded. Donald Trump wasn't about to back down. At a rally in Texas, he took direct aim at Canada. Canada thinks they can blackmail us. Wrong. They need us way more than we need them. If they want to fight, believe me, they'll lose. And then, he made things even worse. He announced new tariffs on all Canadian imports. This included cars and auto parts, beef and dairy products, lumber and paper products. And the moment he signed the executive order, the Canadian dollar plunged. The reaction from Ottawa? Pure rage. Canada immediately began negotiating deals with China and Europe, signaling they were willing to move away from the US economy. At this point, the battle lines were drawn. And the war. It was about to escalate even further. Now, let's get real for a second. Could Canada actually stop selling electricity to the US? The answer is complicated. Yes, they can. Canada controls 10% of US electricity imports. Ontario and Quebec supply power directly to major US states. Hydro-Quebec alone could turn off the tap overnight. But here's the catch. The North American grid is deeply interconnected. A full shutdown would hurt Canada's own energy economy. Many Canadian businesses depend on US customers. So instead of a full blackout, experts believe Canada would take a different approach. One, gradually reduce supply to cause electricity prices to skyrocket. 2, restrict energy exports to key states like Michigan and New York. 3, increase hydroelectric prices to make US customers pay more. Would it work? Absolutely. Even a 10 to 15% cut would be enough to cause rolling blackouts in major US cities. And if Canada goes through with it, the economic consequences would be devastating. Now here's where things get really crazy. Because some experts are asking, could this escalate into a real military confrontation? At first, it sounds insane. The US and Canada have been allies for centuries. But let's not forget. The US has invaded Canada twice in history, 1775 and 1812. America has military bases on Canadian soil. If an energy crisis cripples the US, pressure to act could grow. Fox News already started pushing the narrative. Why should we let Canada hold our power hostage? Maybe it's time to take control of our own energy security. That's when the unthinkable happened. March 10, 2025. The US sends warships to the Great Lakes. Officially, the Navy claimed it was just a training exercise. But privately, Canadian intelligence intercepted a classified memo. US military leaders were considering seizing energy infrastructure. Could this trade war turn into a real war? It sounds like a nightmare scenario. But in this crisis, nothing is off the table. So what happens next? Does Canada follow through on its threats? Does Trump escalate even further? And if this spirals out of control, how will it end? Right now, North America is on the brink. And with tensions at an all-time high, anything could happen next. So tell me, who do you think will blink first? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for real-time updates on this unfolding crisis. Thanks for watching.